Okay, we're now recording.
Excellent.
Welcome to another episode, season 2. Finally,
Yay.
way!
Ooh.
We missed you.
Yay! This episode will be on Lord of the Rings, but before we get there, we do the beginning chat bit, and we can carry on the conversation we were just having. There we go. I'm really good at this.
Perfect segue. It's almost like it's scripted.
It's not.
No, I can tell.
Actually, I do have a scripted version of the intro. I just haven't used it once.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's good practice, I guess, to write it down.
Yeah.
At least try. Yeah. So we were talking about, when we were discussing what we were going to talk about today, we started talking about like the most recent Andor, and then before that, Boba Fett.
I do believe that Andor can get a full episode because there's a lot that's very different about Andor and interesting.
Oh, I love it. Although I do think, I mean, like probably when we do an episode on this, we'll end up discussing this point anyway. But like you said, you could take Andor and take it out of the Star Wars universe, and it would still work.
I think that's what's so great about it, though.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah. I mean, it is good. It is good, but it's very much like I'm not putting it in the same bracket, but it's Black Widow and Obi-Wan, if you like. It's a prequel to a pre-existing conclusion to a character arc.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
So there's no jeopardy to it.
Yeah.
Like,
that would be the same argument for why Obi-Wan wasn't very good, because there's no jeopardy to it.
Not at all. Not even for the kid, Leia.
No.
Leia.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Obi-Wan because, as I say, I love everything Star Wars. Like,
last three movies.
Okay, apart from the last 3 movies. But no, I do love the last 3 movies, and I'll tell you why. Because they make the prequels good.
Make the prequels good.
Yeah, because
they're better
the
than the prequels.
Before the sequels were like, there were bits in the prequels. I mean, the last prequel, Revenge of the Sith, I thought it was good. I did think that was good. The culmination of that, but the Attack of the Clones and
but Jar Jar.
I don't have a problem with Jar Jar. I had a problem with Jar Jar was fine. If you can accept Ewoks, you can accept Jar Jar.
Yeah, and
that segues onto Rings of Power, because I sit on Reddit a bit. And I see in the look. I don't comment. I just find memes on there to send people. But there's obviously
Steam updates from there.
Yeah, but there's obviously Lord of the Rings channel, and people are absolutely slating Ring of Power.
A lot of people have
the
not
gatekeepers are absolute gatekeeping it. Tolkien's this, Tolkien that.
Really?
However, if you can accept Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, surely you must be able to accept Ring of Power, because he changed a lot, they've changed a lot, but suddenly this is rubbish and Lord of the Rings is still great.
I know how to solve this problem. I don't care what they think. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Same as me. Yeah. I don't care what they think. I enjoyed it. I mean, again, you could probably argue that you could take it out of the Lord of the Rings settings to a degree, and it would still work for me. That fantasy medieval.
Is it set? I mean, how much in the past is it set? Because
I have no idea.
It's like 1,000 years or so before the events of The Hobbit.
So before this series,
No. Sorry, go on.
No, you go first.
Before this series, you'd never actually go on.
I've never actually finished one of the movies. We went through so many of Usually the first movie
you-
we get half an hour through, and then my mum would
Yeah.
get the ironing board out and do anything to try and stop us from watching it. And-
not a fan.
So
No, she's
I've
not.
had to watch YouTube videos to try and catch up with the lore and figure out what's going on.
Oh,
Yeah. And
you know,
not
there's
the
a
best.
better source for that.
Yeah, they're called books.
Yeah.
Right. If I could read a single page of the
I tell you
Hobbit
what,
movie,
when I was
the
a ki-
books.
When I was a kid, there, and it's probably you could probably find it on YouTube. There was an entire audio set, like a load of cassettes.
There is.
Pat's probably still got it actually.
No, I got the MP3s.
But you know the one I mean, don't you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings is an audiobook which you can find. It's probably on Audible, but you have to watch. No, it is on Audible, but you have to not get the abridged version, obviously.
Because you
So
can get all the
yeah,
lore.
that'll be your task for after this if you want to listen to it, because that's when I was working in London. That's what I listened to on the train. I don't know about the Silmarillion, but if you want to get into why people don't like Rings of Power, you have to read the or listen to the Silmarillion if you can. Silmarillion is one of those that will give you a headache reading because it's so hard to follow. But if you nail it, and you're a smart kid, you should nail it. It only took me 2 goes, so you should be fine. But
it's worth reading.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I've got.
You've got the Book of Lost Tales, the Book of Unfinished Tales. You've there's Tom Bombadil and Other Stories. I think the other one's called that are started by Tolkien and finished by Christopher, his son. But yeah, the first one to start with would be The Hobbit because that's a kid's book. I'm not saying that because of your age.
I love the Hobbit.
It's the gateway drug. It's like it's like the marijuana to your crack cocaine. If you get in with the Hobbit, go to Lord of the Rings, do the Silmarillion and the Book of Unfinished Tales, the Book of Lost Tales, etc., etc., etc. Would be my advice to go that way around.
So okay, given that you are the resident expert in the Lord of the Rings, when is this series set?
Right. From a film point of view, because Mac's seen the start of the films, it's probably the best place to start. You know, the start of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yep.
When they defeat Sauron and Isildur, however it's bloody pronounced in the shows.
The names in this series are ridiculous.
But yeah, he chops off his finger and then doesn't chuck the ring.
Yeah.
In the fire. That's Isildur, the kid that isn't dead but is dead in the Rings of Power. So it's set.
Oh, the one where the building.
Elendil's son.
Yeah,
Elendil's son. Yeah.
You see, I figured he wasn't dead, but I wasn't too sure.
I can bring up a subject you mentioned a lot during the episodes later.
So it's set those Númenóreans have a long life because they're the pre-descendants of Aragorn. And they get 70, 80, 100, whatever it is. And Isildur's, 20-ish, 25, 18, 20 in that. So it's anywhere between the next maybe 30 to 70 years, possibly.
Oh, right. So it's not as far back as I thought it was then.
No, but they've done a lot of, as far as I can tell, they've done a lot of compression of the timeline.
So does that mean Gandalf's not that old then?
Yeah, because I'm assuming that old bloke is Gandalf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair assumption, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping he's one of the Blue Wizards.
Which one's that? I see. I don't remember.
Blue Wizard. They're in the books. So there's 5. Are they Istari? I'm no Stephen Colbert when it comes to knowledge of.
You know more than we do.
There's 5 wizards. You've got Saruman, Gandalf, Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
So you put me on the spot now, and I can't.
He's the one who's
He's
got has all
Radagast.
yeah, he's the one who
Radagast.
has animals
And
and
there's two blue wizards that walked off into nothingness. It's barely mentioned in any of the writings that I've read. So he could be Gandalf. That'll be too easy, but maybe they're playing to their
the fan
apparent
base.
strengths. Yeah, the fan base isn't liking it, but yeah, effectively. So it could be Gandalf. I would like it to be one of the other wizards. Istari, I think they're called. If people actually watch this and they know the Lord of the Rings, I'm gonna get a lot of hate.
That's just the internet for you, anyway.
I wouldn't worry about that.
But surprisingly, this channel hasn't got a lot of subscribers. It does get a lot of hate.
Really?
Yeah. The other day I was just clearing through it. Yeah, nope, not you, not you, not you. Yeah, comment gone. So wow, how do people? How is there more negative people than there is people who are willing to subscribe?
Subscribing. Yeah.
It's just the internet.
But from what I understand, like Sauron returning, the rings being forged, that's all been compressed. That should have happened, or the sword that was a big key point, and then it turned out just to be a key.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have existed until I think Sauron came to full power or was defeated the first time, etc., etc. So they've done a lot of compression, but also the flip side to that, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, is Amazon don't have access to the Silmarillion, as they're not allowed to use the Silmarillion as their point of reference, like whatever the Tolkien Society has given them permission to use.
Tolkien Society.
Yeah. As far as I understand, and again, this might be wrong, is they've basically got the intro to Fellowship of the Ring as their source of reference. So they've got a very small point to go from. They're not allowed to use the Silmarillion, which has got everything. So they know it, obviously, but they're not allowed to directly implicate themselves that they're using it. So they're using Isildur's chopping off the finger and then going back from that and using that as their point of reference. That might be completely wrong, and I might have completely misinterpreted it from what I've been reading and looking up on. But I like the show. I think it's very, very beautiful.
It truly is beautiful. Some of the most amazing CGI I've seen. It's not quite often. I think people pay attention to the CGI that's up close to the camera, like the fire when they rotoscope someone out or change something, move something. But the background looked amazing. So some of that.
If you compare it to the Hobbit, series of films, the Hobbit series of films are terrible looking. They look so bad in 4K.
Yeah, we were watching one last night.
Yeah.
Desolation of Smaug.
Whatever.
Yeah. And don't apologise for saying the names wrong, because
the names are ridiculous. I just want to point that out. Like, I do not remember a single character's name from the series we just watched because the names aren't English. That's slightly wrong. That I don't. It's not that it has to be English. It's just so complicated for me.
It's the pronunciation.
Yeah. When they say it on the thing, like, no, that's not staying in my mind. No way. Pretty much.
To me, it's Galadriel. It's not their pronunciation of Galadriel. You know what I mean? It's just call her Galadriel.
She's the.
I know who, but I just know there's multiple different ways to pronounce his name. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was that? Oh yeah, the movie we watched yesterday. Instantly, there's a moment where it doesn't look good, and it's like this when they walk past the well or something when it has like statues. It just looks like plastic.
Yeah, that was always the problem
Yeah.
with those movies.
None of the set
But-
looks real. But this season,
Yeah,
oh my god, does it not? Does it look
but
good?
that's where Peter Jackson got it right in the first 3 films because he used real world and he built real worlds.
Yeah.
Whereas in The Hobbit, he CGI'd the worlds.
Mm. The series is one of the most beautiful series I've seen. It's right up there with Mandalorian. Mandalorian only looks that good because it has the dome, and
Yeah,
they can do
I
so
hear
much
that.
with that dome.
Yeah, the dome is awesome.
It is, and I've been looking at it. It's real exciting, that technology. I did want to point out though. So I know that this series cost a lot of money to produce, but did you know they paid 250 million just for the rights?
Wow, okay.
If it works out, it'd be worth doing.
Yeah, but they spend so much money on this, and I don't know why. It's just kind of a look. We have this money to spend. Meanwhile, I imagine Disney Plus is just over there going, "You have no idea what we have planned."
Or Apple.
Or Apple. Apple always surprise me. They make really good content, but
Do they?
yeah, they do.
Oh,
And
yeah, they
nobody
do.
watches it.
What's that show that we were watching, the sci-fi one?
The sci-fi one.
Um,
Foundation.
Yeah, that.
That.
I mean,
that
that's visually absolutely
oh
stunning.
god, yeah.
I think that had the record of like most per episode until Lord of the Rings,
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power came out.
It is a beautiful looking series. I think the writing for that series though is not its fault. It's fully the book's fault because it jumps around a lot.
Oh, what for?
For Foundation, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be watching this episode and I go, what? Next episode's decades later?
Oh, hundreds of years later.
What? And you go, okay, so none of these characters are alive except that guy who's now the older version of the same guy who's been cloned. All right, yeah, okay, we got that in our mind. And then suddenly, oh, the girl's back. She's time Right, fine, screw it. Just agree to all of it and sign your soul away. It was a confusing series, but very well directed.
Oh, and
When did you spot that the old man wasn't Sauron? At what point?
well, we were kind of guessing the whole time, really, right up until the point where they said he's not. He's the other one.
Well, even at that point.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I was about like 80% certain that it was going to be a good guy, that it was going to be that he was going to be a good wizard, and he wasn't going to be Sauron. I had no idea right until I think the last episode that guy who turns out to be Sauron was Sauron.
Me neither. I didn't spot it at all. It was only when Galadriel went, "Did he say that?" And I went, "Oh."
Yeah, I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
That one massively broadsided me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. But I didn't buy it as a character because there'd been no hint that character was anything other than just like a misunderstood human.
Yeah.
Really, there'd never been an inkling that he had any other
No.
power.
Which they did, in my opinion, they did really, really well to do that.
But there's one problem I've had with the show, and this might well have be a result of the source material, is that it seems to me that what Amazon Prime are doing is they've seen how well Game of Thrones did and said, right, we want a piece of that. We want to do our own kind of thing. What's an existing piece of material that we can use? We'll use Lord of the Rings. One of the best things about Game of Thrones is that it didn't matter how key or how important a character was, they could kill him off. No one was safe. No character was safe apart from Jon Snow, who they killed off. Oh, actually, I'm not gonna, because Mac hasn't seen it. But
damn VPNs.
my point being that it doesn't seem that those characters are really in that much jeopardy. They don't seem to want to kill off major characters. Really, they'll kill off tertiary characters, but not like anyone really important.
I can't remember who they killed off so far.
but you can't really kill off the major characters in a.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Because
probably
you've
because of
got
source
you've
material.
again it goes back to this is a prequel to the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson films, so it's already well established, and it would just probably destroy the fandom if they did that.
Yeah, yeah. So like, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, really, because you've got all of these people that are so I don't want to say obsessed, but like they have a stake in where that story goes because they've obviously built up that story, and that's the problem with taking a story that people feel passionate about and trying to bring it to the small screen. Is that people
or even the big screen?
Yeah, or even
the big screen.
Because people already have that idea in their head of what that character did and where they went. It's the same with Star Wars. It's like there was this whole other, the stories kept on going. With Luke and Leia and Luke having, I think he had a relationship and he had kids and stuff like that. And then the new movies came out and they just got rid of it all. And that
Disney
Disney got rid of it.
Disney decided that,
Yeah.
There was a video I've watched. I can't remember if it was a director, a actor, or something, but they were saying that fan bases tend to feel like they had something to do with it, that they earned the right
ownership.
Yeah, they feel like they own this series, even though technically they don't. And the person also said it is right. They do own it in a way because they help shape how a series goes. If it's going badly, they'll probably change it then. But I think people take that to a new limit every time. Specifically, people on Reddit or Twitter, they'll go, "This series was terrible. They should have done this, this, and this." It's not yours choices to make. This is the producers, the directors, not the directors, the writers, and even the company that owns them. So it always changes in that kind of way.
Yeah, where that seems to spool from is the successful Reddit campaigns to get things like when they convinced / bullied EA to sort out Battlefront 2. So they're like, "Oh, we can do that." Well, yeah, because Battlefront 2, they messed over how you acquire characters.
I thought they just left it.
No, they fixed it because
That's
of
cool.
the backlash on Reddit.
But it's a different media, isn't it?
Different media has same fan base, though. Yeah. Think about it. You've got Star Wars movies, Star Wars TV series, and Star Wars games. There are people who are going to cross all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I suppose it's true of Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have learned the most about all of the Lord of the Rings from Lego games.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we haven't really talked about like the series itself.
No, but it is important to talk about how the series gets to the point it is, because when people are handed, people at Amazon, here you go, we've brought this licensing for you. Make a really good series. Don't screw up. They're gonna have to look through how other directors and how it was written to make sure they didn't annoy the fan base, and maybe they didn't research that quite correctly, but yet again, they could have researched fully and still not known how our fan base has changed.
There's still going to be, I don't think you can please everybody.
No, you cannot.
All the time. So there's always going to be some fans that you're just going to end up alienating as a result.
Yeah, I do think, I wonder if this is a good idea to mention, but I do think the internet has become more sensitive, shall we say. If something's gone wrong, it's wrong and that's it.
Yeah, there's no wiggle room.
There's no wiggle room at all. If a series has had a terrible start because of the budget constraints that they had and the directors they had, then it's stuck. That's all it's going to get. Which is why I like Mandalorian, because Mandalorian has a different point of view from different directors every time. And this is going to feel a bit weird, but there's a sequel to the Doom movie, the one with The Rock in it, that was given to a director. Sorry, talking a lot. I believe it's Warner Brothers that owns the rights to Doom.
I thought it was Paramount.
Oh, it might be Paramount. So what they do every so often to make sure they keep their license, they give a load of things out to the directors, and directors get to choose what they want to remake. And at the point of this Doom movie, Doom 2016 wasn't released, and they weren't even allowed to use anything from that. They had to make their own one. And this guy was given a small budget and was told he wasn't allowed to do anything big, and that they weren't allowed to have specific aspects.
So it's just so that they can hang on to the license.
It's just so they can hang on to the license. But this is another area where people really judged this guy and said he did a terrible job. It wasn't really his fault. He just wrote a script and directed what he had to, just to sell.
That's what happened with Fantastic Four, wasn't it? Before the two Fantastic Four films, there was a unreleased, by all argument, not a Fantastic Four film.
Yeah,
and it was done because the studios had to make the film, or they'd lose the rights to it.
And then they made a terrible movie anyway.
Yeah, because there's actually a documentary about it on Amazon, which is quite fascinating.
Amazon has a lot of documentaries. I think they must love doing documentaries or something.
I think they're trying to compete with Netflix and their world domination of documentaries.
We should probably actually talk more about how it looks, as you were saying. Well, not how it looked, how the series went. Because
I mean, you could argue is it potentially a bit slow paced, but
it was.
There were bits in it where you were like, the kid. Oh, is he gonna be an evil one? Turns out no, he's just angry. Like when he finds that sword, and you think, and then he cuts himself, and the sword grows, and you think, and then there's some.
This is the kid that goes, mother.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, I did like the way all of the various levels of hierarchy had different accents to denote their place.
Yeah, in regional accents, didn't they?
In the world, like the elves, proper posh. The Numenorians, quite posh, because they're the posh humans, and then the Southlanders, common as muck lad. And then the dwarves add something else, and it was quite good the way they did that to like distinguish like the Numenorians from the Southlanders and stuff like that. I thought it was quite clever.
What accent did the dwarves have?
Kind of, I don't know, British.
Was it
posh?
I don't know.
No, the dwarves weren't posh.
I can't remember what their accent was really. I know the Hobbits had
they were more
very
Irish,
strong.
weren't they?
Were they?
Irish?
Yeah, maybe.
I liked Durin's friendship with thingy Elrond.
Yeah, thought that was quite good. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. It would be. I mean, I don't know whether this would even be possible, but it'd be good if they had some of the actors from the movies, like one or two. If there's any characters that would that could kind of cross over between the series and the movies, because I mean, like for example, like the elves, they live for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? So
forever, they're immortal.
Yeah, well, so then it would be good if they had like an elf that an actor or actress that was in one of the movies feature in the show. But again, not knowing the source material that well, I mean, I've only ever read The Hobbit. I don't know whether that would even be possible.
Well,
I don't know either.
They've obviously done a young Galadriel and a young Elrond. Galadriel's husband is, speech marks, dead. he's not dead.
Spooky.
Yeah, because he appears in the films. He literally stands next to her, and I don't think he says anything. He might have one eye in the film, but he's not dead. Legolas, I don't believe, is born
Legolas.
until after the defeat of Sauron the first time, which is what this is building up to. Dwarves don't live forever; they live for a long time. The Númenóreans obviously come back, and then that lineage leads down to Aragorn. Yeah, I don't. I mean, apart from having Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving at some point when they were a lot older, but yeah, because Hugo Weaving was there, wasn't he? When Isildur refused to
Yeah.
chuck the ring in the fire. I mean, he didn't age well, did he?
So they could potentially. I mean, the thing is I have the same problem that Mac does. Is that I can't remember the names of anybody. I can't remember the characters. So, I mean, it's good. I've enjoyed it, like visually. But sometimes I get confused over who's who.
Yeah.
I haven't been confused over who's who unless someone's talking about that person. Like, oh, here's Gobbledygook. They go, who? Oh, right. See, they're on screen now. I can see who they are. Yeah. And then the next time, I've forgotten it again. I was just looking at some images from the series itself, just trying to refresh myself on some of the things that happened in it. Because we joined it quite late, didn't we?
Well, I waited until there was about like 4 episodes to watch.
Yeah.
So we watched the first 3 episodes in quick succession.
And I have a note that I actually remember. The scene with the fire, like after the episode after the fire's happened, from all the lava coming down, and she's just woken up in this just red, is one of the best scenes, I think, in the whole thing. Because I found it looked very nice, and it reminded me of, Pat, you won't get this, Arcane. There's a scene very close to the beginning of the Arcane animated series where the troops kind of walk through this red smoke.
Dust.
Yeah.
Smoke. Yeah, when the parents get killed.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that made me go, I'm going to like this series because that looks really good. And I just quite like red being used in cameras, which is funny because red's not good for cameras, I believe.
No. I tell you what it reminded me of, in some ways, because this is the yardstick that I measure things by, visually.
I've watched Arcane. What are you talking about?
Oh, have you? I didn't know you had.
Yeah, we had this discussion about 6 times. Have you watched it yet? And then you asked me again.
Oh, I do remember that. Sorry.
I was going to say, Dune. The most recent movie, visually, is probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. And that's kind of the yardstick that I measure things by. And I'd say, for a TV series, or for a series, because it's not really TV anymore, is it?
No, not really.
It's up there as visually as one. And I was wondering, how important is that? When you have this, it's obviously this is an epic story that covers hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, and has so many characters in it, and it's just and as we've discussed, a lot of people have a vested interest in it. When you have those kind of epic stories, the visuals really matter, don't they? Because people have that idea of what, being that it was written material first, you already have it in your head as to what it's going to look like. So it's not an enviable position to be in for someone to try and recreate that as best they can. But I think it's, like I say, it's just visually, it's a fantastic looking show.
I think it's so visually lovely to look at. There are some scenes I have no idea if they were done practically or digitally. I was watching an episode of Corridor Crew yesterday where they were showing the scene where the elf guy who looks with very nice hair, he walks across this bridge, and in the distance they kind of show what you could think of as being as a set, but apparently it's not. It was just digitally done. I think that's insane, really. How much money can it affect how digital effects can look? Because there are the scene where they're actually every scene where they're in, is it Morrowind? The nice humans. What's that called? Numenor, thank you. I think Morrowind's Elder Scrolls.
I believe that's a game.
Yeah. Numenor, every scene in that looked real. So I think they did make a lot of sets for that. But that's a lot of money, yet again, just for sets. And then they also had good CGI in the episode. How much did each episode cost again?
About $1 million.
$1 million each episode?
Apparently.
No, it's more than that, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it's got to be more than $1 million.
It probably is. I mean, each episode is practically a movie, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Max just Googling.
Well, 465 million over 8 episodes, so roughly 58.1 million.
I think we're reading the same article, because that's exactly what I've got as well.
Per episode?
Did you say 4 episodes? For the budget production.
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Wow. That's an insane amount of money.
It really is. And I Amazon's going to have to do a lot to get that money back.
It's a pretty well-off company.
I know they're a pretty well-off company, but still a big chunk of money to take out of a big company like that.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're that big, I suppose they can afford to spend that amount. It's the only way that a show like this could get made, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is
How much does Prime cost?
It's just gone up,
year?
hasn't it?
I wonder why.
£90
Yeah.
a year. £90 a year it is.
Oh,
It was 70, I think it was 79. So it was 80, it's gone up to 90.
But that's also including Amazon Prime as well. Not Amazon.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean that was
Right. 5.06 million Prime subscribers are required to pay for it. I think they've got more than that.
Yeah, they probably
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
But there's obviously all the other stuff they do, so.
Tell you what I would like to do is a separate episode, possibly on this channel at some point. Just go through all of the streaming service and rate them. Because Paramount, no spoilers, going to be at the bottom. It's a terrible application compared to all.
I've not tried it. Not tried it because I can get Paramount through Amazon, but I haven't
That
because
means
there's
you don't have to
only
deal with the launcher. That might actually be better for you.
there's only Brave New Worlds and Discovery Series 4 that I want to watch on it anyway. So I'm not going to pay
We
$6.99.
watched the Halo series on it, and that was surprisingly quite good. I fully went into that thinking this is going to be terrible. I don't want to watch this. Well, I do want to watch this. I just don't think it's going to be worth my time.
Yeah.
And then one episode happened, and I was geeking out about every single thing that was happening. I went, I got to watch the next episode now. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, but then there was the whole Master Chief taking his
that
his
was
helmet
really
off
annoying.
every 5 minutes, which was irritating.
That was irritating. I don't know. Before watching the series, I was like, it can't be that much hassle. Well, why are people arguing about the fact he took the mask off? He took it so many times. It was like he only wore it for like 2 scenes per episode. The rest of the scenes, he had it all off.
Yeah,
Not all off. Maybe not that
well,
way.
he took the whole his whole suit off at
Yeah.
one point.
No, you don't do that. Talking of fan bases not liking things. No, don't do that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend Paramount Plus.
No, it is perhaps the worst subscription at the moment. It hasn't even got a lot to give you.
No.
What we've only watched Halo, Star Trek, and Star Trek. And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was still watching Below Decks on Amazon Prime anyway. So
I've been watching that as well, because just something to stick on. To be fair.
yeah,
And sometimes
because
funny.
I like it. Yeah.
But every episode it hurts me because I'm just thinking, this reminds me of Final Space. It's no longer in production.
Yes. Yeah, that was sad times.
That is a sad time. Although the
And they've deleted Prime. Amazon have deleted. If you paid for it on Amazon Prime, they've deleted it.
They've deleted a ton of Warner Brothers stuff because
So
Warner Brothers asked
they've
them
not
to.
refunded, and they've not refunded people either.
No, I know.
The purchases.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I watched it on Netflix without paying for it.
Is it no longer on Netflix then?
No, it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna watch that one more time before it goes. I did love that series. It's a shame, but the one of the creators, I believe, is starting another series, so that'll be fun.
Oh, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I think he's doing it with a different studio. I believe he wasn't doing so well with Warner Brothers because he kept losing people or moving around. I can't remember what happens, but it is a shame that series is cancelled. I do have actually a question, nothing to do with the subject we're actually talking about, nor Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. Will we do a Cyberpunk episode?
How?
Wait.
I've never played it.
No, we're not. We'll do movies and TV series. We're not talking about the game.
Oh, okay.
The Edgerunner thing.
I mean, you can do if you want.
I
can
don't
give
think
you my-
there's enough to talk about. I didn't like it.
No, me neither. And I've got the game, and it's got nothing to do with the game. I didn't like it because it started really well, and then David just went batshit power hungry for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
You'll do well, David. You'll be a great person. Oh, now you slapped a billion ton of chrome on you. Now you're a nut job. Oh, now you've got cyber psychosis. You're dead.
Yeah. That was pretty much it.
It was a pointless, in my opinion. It was a pointless journey.
Yeah.
Now I get it. The argument of people saying, that that's the world of Cyberpunk, and I get that because I play it. But it's just like there's no story to this. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
I just wanted to quickly look at the score rating compared to Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, I think it has a 6.9 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Meanwhile, Cyberpunk Edgerunners has an 8.4 rating.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does that work?
I don't know. There's a lot more time and effort put into the other one, I think. But
That seems... Wow.
I feel like
Yeah.
with Cyberpunk, the story jumped around a lot. Like, I mean,
It's not that it jumped around a lot. It's just like this.
put on fast forward.
17-year-old kid who's trying to make his way in Night City. I get that. His mother's just passed away. Tragic. Yada yada yada. And now, he suddenly got access to this Militech. Okay, cool. Yeah, get that.
His mother died so fast, though. We
It
didn't give anyone enough time to connect the fact, and then he kind of got over with it within a day.
Yeah. Have you not watched Bambi?
No, well, actually, yeah, but I'm not a fan of Disney movies. In all honesty,
It was just the. Okay, you've got this thing. Don't use it more than twice a day, or else it will kill you. Okay, what did he do?
use it
Use
all
it
the
more
time.
than twice a day. Yeah.
I did enjoy the series at certain points, but that was about it. I will say it was incredibly headache-inducing. I'm not a fan of the fast-paced anime where they're fighting against each other. I like Studio Ghibli's slow and calm feeling the old-fashioned anime, but then you get the newer ones like my friends like, and it's always really fast. You get the body stretching, and it just gives me a headache. That's why I don't watch it usually. And I think I can understand why other people like it, and I've been saying this one a lot. But personally, to me, I just didn't enjoy it.
No, it wasn't. It was all right, but it just went too crazy. I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going to die. What, you're a 17, 18-year-old, and I'm doing it for love. Okay. You're going a bit extreme for love because you're literally killing everyone around you for the love of one person. You're committing suicide on their behalf.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Pretty much most of these problems could have been solved if he just didn't bulk up, really.
Yeah.
And she didn't go mad from seeing someone die. And the whole series, there you go, solved.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that's probably not the point of the series.
No.
Anyway, let's go back to gold rings of power. There we go. I want to actually talk quickly about pretty much the last episode, and a thing that annoyed me is the when she figured out that he was Sauron, right?
Yeah.
Saying that right? She didn't tell anyone else, and I don't know why. From a writing perspective, I don't think not mentioning it or mentioning it would have changed much of the story. Because later on, he just goes down and finds the scroll and figures it out anyway. But
I can only assume that they were creating the rings anyway, and she knew the potential power of those rings.
So
she didn't want to
jeopardize it.
Didn't feel the need to. Yeah.
Okay, that does make more sense. I'm gonna have a quick look through my notes. I mentioned the CGI a lot in my notes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I made a note that before when I first saw the trailer for it, I was worried that the CGI might become a bigger aspect than the story. They might be focusing more on making it look nice and pretty and not care much about the story. But I disagree with that now. I think they really did do the best of all options that they could have possibly done. If I was put in charge of directing this, I don't think I would direct it or write it in any other way. I can't think of another way it could be written or directed.
Okay.
That's quite a big thing to say, actually, I realise.
Well, no, it's just difficult for me to have an opinion on it, not knowing the source material that well.
Yeah. I'm coming from the point of view, though, of I'm someone who's perhaps not read the Lord of the Rings, which is true. I haven't, really.
Yeah.
And someone's just given me a project to do. And that's probably what I would do. But perhaps give them more sensible names.
Like Dave.
Like Derek, Dave, and Jeremy. Realising that all those names are male. We'll find
Susan.
Susan. Yeah, there we go. Susan. Solve all the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other
Well,
side.
the source material is The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, The Return of the King, The Appendices, and The Hobbit. So all of this is based off of not a lot, really. They're talking about the Second Age, like the end of the Second Age, because I think the Third Age starts like after the War of Sauron.
I've just thought of another thing that's better about the series.
That?
A lot less walking. There was walking in it. A lot less walking compared to the other series.
Speaking of which, I did like the half foot or whatever they're called. The funny feet.
The funny feet.
They're not hobbits.
They're not hobbits?
They're not hobbits.
Are they descendants of hobbits?
No, they're ancestors of hobbits.
How long do hobbits live?
They're not hobbits.
Okay.
The funky feet aren't hobbits. I can't remember what they're called. What are they called?
Half-foots, aren't they?
Half-foots, yeah. They're not hobbits.
Are they
They're
not?
the precursors to hobbits. I
assumed
believe-
they were hobbits.
I believe there is quite a few different factions or races of half-foot likes, and they all merge at some point to make hobbits. Then it
Screw that, I'm not googling that. A lot comes up if you just Google half-foots and fobbits.
Hobbits.
Fobbits.
They're the other
Hobbits?
ones.
Yeah, fobbits.
yeah. They're more like hobbits.
The Fobbits.
The fobbits.
Yeah, the hobbits. Yeah.
They're
But I thought they
fobbits.
were good. Selene did us proud, I have to say. He was good in it.
Oh yeah, he did. He did a very he did a really good job at that, I thought.
Because it was like these half-foots are not inquisitive. They're scared. They're not they're not interacting with anyone type of people. They're not like the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings films where they're like, oh, bloody Gandalf again. I wish he wouldn't bother. These are like, oh, quick hide from the big people.
Yeah, they're more skittish, aren't they?
Mm.
Yeah. And then you had the two of the one of them dragging on the second one to break out from that, but all while knowing, like even at the end, she was like, I don't want to go on an adventure. I just want to stay here.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like them as characters. I liked it when that whole relationship with them and Gandalf, because I swear that is Gandalf. But I thought that was really good. The way although it wasn't until the last episode that he suddenly realised he could speak English.
Yeah. But the thing is, no one seemed to be shocked by that. There's oh, okay, he speaks English now. But before he was going... I mean, that'd be fun to do a podcast like that, like a Sims character. Mimo no Momo. Nobody would have a bloody clue what you're talking about.
Well, maybe
See, Gandalf doesn't appear till the Third Age. This is set in the Second Age. That's why I think
He's Gandalf's brother. No.
it's one of the... Well, Saruman is technically Gandalf's brother, so is Radagast. So I'm hoping it's one of the...
Father?
No, it won't be a father. I'm hoping it's one of the Blue Wizards.
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I want to perhaps talk about something that maybe not the most interesting thing out of the whole thing, but the intro was bloody boring because it was just dust. And they had the whole advert where they had, the lava going through all of this, and then they had the behind the scenes of how that was shot. I was thinking, that'd be a really cool intro. They're using that for the intro? That's what I fully expected. And then you get to the actual intro, it's just dust. Whew. You think, oh.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money spent on just advertising.
All right, I skipped the...
Have you not seen the lava thing and then the dust thing?
Well, yeah.
Also,
they did a
the
trailer, didn't they? With
in the trailer, the Balrog's in it, and then he appears for about 5 seconds in the show.
Yeah, he does.
They built like the Balrog. Oh, okay, he's in the trailer. Fantastic. Right?
He looked the same as the one in the movie, though, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because they are.
Yeah.
And that's one thing they have done well is the continuation of the orcs to make them look like Peter Jackson's. So they've at least attempted to have continuation rather than make it completely different.
Yeah, it was cool. Oh, Max, sharing the trailer with you.
Ready? Okay.
So I sent you the trailer and the intro sequence. You right?
Cat just attacked me.
Yeah, I saw.
Well, he stroked her once. Bloody cat.
Protector of the LTT jumper.
Well, yeah, that's right. That bit they dug out the ground where they run the water through to make the
Yeah.
the volcano erupt.
No, this isn't to do with the intro, Fata. This is. Do you remember the dwarfs digging underground? Not dwarfs. The goblin. The
Orcs.
orcs. Thank you. Got there. They were digging the tunnel bit. I kind of forgot about that. In fact, where they had the elves mining and they had to go through the tree and they didn't want to do the tree.
Yeah.
They turned that into water, didn't they? Which I didn't see happening, but they did. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's primarily I didn't see that happening because I didn't know the law. The law.
Well, so that was part of the story originally, was it?
Apparently so, according to what Pat said.
Yeah, and that's how they create Mordor.
No, but that's the intro.
Is it?
Oh, sorry, no, that trailer. That trailer, the start of it, you see the trench and the water running down through the trench. Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power, the announcement, that one. That you just shared with me, that's the trench right at the start, isn't it?
Ah.
And then it turns into magma, then it turns into metal, which turns into the ring. It's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
And that, I think, would have been cool as the intro.
But instead we got seeds and stones and that.
Yeah.
which I'm now watching.
I mean, it was cool. One of my friends said it was very much like his Dark Materials intro. The sand one.
Yeah.
Which I can see, yeah. But I also didn't think that intro was that good. For the I just never mind. His Dark Materials one. I didn't think that was that good either. The intro. The CGI in that. Whoa. Best animal CGI I think I've ever seen. That
Yeah,
and
I
Planet
don't
of the Apes.
understand what these grains of sand are representing.
No, me neither.
I wonder if it's physical. Whether they actually did it, because you can do that. You just like play music onto, say, a metal surface.
Yeah.
With the dust on there, and it will make those shapes. So I wonder if either it's
You would think though, for all the money they have,
well, that they would do it like CGI.
That would show off more to do it in CGI because
do a better job
simulation
of
terrible.
it with all the money they've got.
Not terrible.
Oh yeah.
Difficult.
That's why I think that the trailer, like that sneaky or announcement trailer, would have made a better intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what much more we can talk about with the series. We've got a couple more minutes left.
Yeah. I just thought, well, although it's called the Rings of Power, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The rings weren't actually in it until the
Last episode.
Yeah. I'm assuming that there's going to be a few seasons, so the rings will come into it more.
I believe season 2's already been confirmed. No, it hasn't been. I'm thinking of Andor.
Well, they better make a second season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. I think they've already agreed that there's going to be a minimum of 5. I think.
Oh, well, that'll be cool. So that gives them plenty of time to kind of build these characters up and stuff like that. What they should do is introduce. I mean, I know probably the fans probably wouldn't like that, but introduce some main characters that are not actually in the books.
Yeah.
Because
so they can actually kill them off.
Then they can kill them off. Yeah. So introduce someone that they really that's
Well, they have done to a degree because the Queen isn't in the books. Numenor's not really discussed apart from its fate, I believe.
Oh, so they can kill all of Numenor. Goodbye, Numenor.
Yeah, so they can
Have you read the books?
no, but they do kill off the Numenor, don't they?
Well, actually, that's what they've been dreaming about, or whatever.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah,
the trees,
yeah.
leaves go. Woo.
Yeah. The tsunami.
Yeah. Ah, we hit. Hmm?
Wrap up.
It is wrap up time. We just hit exactly an hour.
Nice one.
I don't know when we're recording the next episode. That hasn't been anywhere near decided. It took long to decide this one.
Yeah.
Nor do I
suppose we can
know what we're doing
subject
next.
matter,
We finally watched Bill and Ted. Have you watched that yet?
Oh yeah, I bought that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I bought that to watch it on Prime when it first came out in 2021. I also told you that in WhatsApp. Do you not read the messages I send you? Or
I do, but that was a while ago. I don't have the best brain.
No, it was the other day.
Was it? No, was it?
A couple of weeks ago at most.
Okay. I wouldn't mind discussing maybe in the next episode. Prey. Prey.
Yeah.
Prey.
I'll have to watch that. So yeah,
Oh, you should
and I'll
watch it. It's
I'll
really good.
rewatch Bill and Ted's.
Prey, Batman, or Umbrella Academy.
I haven't watched Batman yet.
I thought you said you had. Oh, okay.
No,
That was really good.
much like I'm still waiting on June.
Oh, everything, everywhere, all at once. That would be a fun episode. We won't be able to describe anything that's happened.
I watched it.
Also free on Amazon at the moment. If you have Amazon
You'll have to
Prime.
send me a list of the stuff that you've watched so I can.
Yeah, just do that. Send him a list, and
It's quite easy for me of an evening just to sit down and watch some stuff.
cool beans. All right, I'm gonna have to go.
All right.
Oh, okay then. Thank you for watching this listening to this episode. We'll see you next time for whatever we're planning on doing next time.
Yeah. Tune in next time for whatever it is.
Yeah. Next
It'll
week
be
we'll be doing
Something.
Anyway, bye-bye.
Bye bye.